And welcome to our lounge. My name is Antoine Allen. We're here at the World Class Bartending Finals. It's been an exceptional 2 days already. You haven't even seen it apart from our lovely highlights. But today we're here for day 3. We have the best of the best. 20 bartenders will be competing in the Zacapa Rum Challenge and the Tanqueray number 10 Challenge. But I'm not here alone. We're going to be doing some interviews with some judges, some experts, some people that obviously love the world of bartending and of course our fine drinking. And I'm here with a guest already, so I want to welcome to us is Mr. Tim Philip Johansson. Thank you for joining me, Tim.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here on the couch, Antoine. Cheers.
I do have one question for you. If you were to describe your personality as a cocktail, which cocktail would you be and why?
Good question, mate. I would probably say it'd have to be something like the Bloody Mary. You know, you're a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, a little bit strong. You know, everything in one, really. I think you can get a lot of personality out of a Bloody Mary, right?
So you're Bloody Mary, a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy. So throughout the day, hopefully Tim's going to be giving us those spicy tips of how a bartender can get to his level. He's a previous winner. So Tim, with the competitors right now, what's going through their mind as they prepare for day 3?
Yeah, well, probably not much sleep last night. Once you kind of make it through to the top 20, it's what you're here for. It's the nitty gritty, you know. It's when things get a lot serious. I guess there's also a lot of stress relief because, you know, you work so hard on these concepts and you have no idea if you're even going to make them. I mean, there's 57 bartenders to 20, so more than half the field gets knocked out straight away. So you would have hated to have put in all this work to not get to this point and make those drinks that you put in all this work for. So a little bit of relief getting to the point where you actually get to present those drinks that you've worked so hard for, but also that, you know, that overarching stress that you don't want to make a silly mistake. You don't want to break a glass. You want to make sure you get all your points across, and you just want to put your best foot forward, really.
On top of that, because obviously we've gone from 55 to 20, what's the separating factor between those numbers? So obviously all of them are great bartenders, but how can you make it into the top 20? What are the judges looking for?
Yeah, I mean, at this stage of the competition, you're going to get great cocktails, so all of the drink standards are going to be fantastic. So when you actually look at the points allocated for Taste of Cocktails, everyone's going to score pretty well. You know, you've got 20 national champions now, which are all the best in their country, and they've proven themselves on a global stage now. So we've distilled the competition down to the really most talented. I think what separates is your personality. You know, no one else has got your personality, no one else has got my personality. So making sure that you can put that personality in the glass and give the judges a nice reflection of who you are and your style and your drinks ethos. And obviously, you know, you've got to be an interesting person, and you've got to make sure that you connect with the judges, and you've got to make sure that they like you. And I think the points for the cocktails is a no-brainer, but that's definitely the way to separate yourself.
Thanks for that insight, Tim. We're going to throw you up a picture and a video of the Kettle One Challenge and what our competitors actually had to do, and we'll be back in a second. Can you hear me?
Supporting the community has always been important to me. And in terms of sustainability, using fresh, local produce is one of the best things that you can do. It's not only better for local businesses and the environment, but your cocktails will take on a unique local flavor as well. When trying to create a sustainable cocktail for last year's World Class Bartender of the Year Global Finals, I found it extremely difficult to find local, organic ingredients in Istanbul. So I created a platform inspired by bees, which I called The Hive. Bees only travel within 7 kilometers of their hive, so it made sense that we should source things in the same way. The Hive shows consumers and bars how they can do this, enabling them to make more thoughtful choices regarding the things that they buy. This year's Kettle One Challenge, Better Drinking, was inspired by the work that I've been doing in Istanbul and aims to provide a platform for bartenders to showcase the work that they've been doing in their communities. Part 1 was to design a remix of a Kettle One classic, Bloody Mary, Espresso Martini, or a Dutch Mule, using natural, quality, and local ingredients for better drinks with reduced waste. Part 2 was to demonstrate the positive impact that their method, process, or ingredients used in their drinks had in their community. Here's just a few of the incredible entries we had.
Herkese merhaba.
Welcome to my better drinking concept.
I'm not gonna shake this cocktail, but please put your hands together if you wanna cheer it up a little bit, you know? Doesn't have to be shaken. That's it.
A big thanks to all who entered, and here's to another amazing World Class Global Finals.
So with this
Cheers.
cocktail, I named this cocktail Bora. Bora is the name of the wind. Getting a little bit.
So we've just shown you what our competitors had to do. We're actually going to show you some live footage from the Johnny Walker Challenge where they actually had to do some amazing challenges. So we're going to throw it up on your screen. You'll see some pictures and some video of the live show from yesterday. So I know those of you really want to see what the bartenders have had to do. So here comes some footage.
We're gonna ice this up. And
They
we're
have to
just
make
gonna splash
20
it up a
cocktails.
little
One of
bit.
them has to be a highball, and you see each one has to put that bit of personality and flair into their proceedings. They're judged not just on the qualities of the cocktails, Tim told us, there's also their hosting ability. Like when I was walking around, I could see that each person brought around their own individual glass and highball with them that kind of represented their nation. So it's a flavour of their nation was what we were looking for, and it's through that particular competition that we were able to basically get our top 20. So when you were watching yesterday, what kind of technique or hosting skills really stood out for you, Tim?
I mean, bartending, I prefer the term bartending over mixologist, mostly because bartending is more of a holistic view of what you have to do. Mixology focuses so much of just what's in the glass. Whereas I find myself as a bartender, it's not necessarily the most important thing is what's actually in the drink or what you're drinking. I probably shouldn't say that at a global brand competition. I mean, obviously it's important, but for me, the greatest thing and the reason I go back to bars is because I'll go to see a certain bartender because I want to sit in front of them at the bar, you know, and being that kind of personality that looks after your guests and is even able to have like a cheeky joke with them or make sure that they have a good time and have that duty of care for your guests, I think is the most important thing.
Can you remember the first time you met a bartender and you thought in your mind, actually, this is what I want to do with my life? Like, was there a moment, was there a place that sticks in your mind?
Yeah, I think popular culture, when you look at, you know, I mean, everyone jokes about Cocktail, the movie with Tom Cruise. I was more of a Brian Brown fan, obviously, because obviously he was the older statesman. He was the Australian. He was the mentor. I was less of a Tom Cruise kind of a guy. But then, yeah, when you sort of see, I guess, that kind of rock star sort of lifestyle that you think bartending comes with, and then when you actually end up taking out bins at the end of the night and scrubbing out ice wells and doing those hard jokes, those 13-hour nights, but then you fall in love with the creative side of things as well. You know, as a bartender, we're creatives and we're artists, and being able to express myself in a glass in a social environment is a very special thing.
From that creative aspect, what was probably the first cocktail that you mastered, and then if you were locked in a room, you could only make one cocktail for the rest of your life, which would it be?
I would like to think I haven't mastered any cocktails yet. I think it's always best that, you know, the way I made a Manhattan 15 years ago when I thought was pretty good, it's probably different to how I make it now, and I think today it's pretty good. But I think as a bartender, and it's always good to stay as relevant as you can and always be searching for new ingredients and new techniques, new ways of making the same kind of drinks to better yourself. If I had to make one drink for the rest of my life, it's got to be the martini. It's the most sophisticated king of cocktails. It's textural, it's delicious. It mixes strong spirits with aromatized wine and bitters and get that perfect harmony of temperature and dilution. It's the perfect cocktail.
We spoke so much about the art of making cocktails. We're actually going to show you the competition. So we're going to the Tanqueray number 10 challenge. We've got Orlando Marzo in the room who's competing right now. So we're going to show you that and we'll be back in a minute.
Then I adjust it with a little bit of malic and citric acid as well. We're going to try this one. Beautiful. Now with this cocktail, I was really looking to have that perfumey character. As I said, I really wanted to create a contemporary drink without ruining the renaissance of the classic cocktail. If you wish, a Negroni made in 10 years' time, you know. And look at the beautiful color. Does it match anyone? No, maybe crystal jacket. That's it. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to put an ice block on top of it. Again, I'm not shaking. Feel free to put your hands together. I know, I'm the first, but let's be honest, right? And then I'm gonna have plum here on top. You're just gonna sit on top. You're just gonna boost it up, the flavor character of the plum, and feel free to eat it after you try the drink. Always drink first. Always drink first. Now this is my drink, and the flavor map is also here, designed for you. And this is essentially how the flavor travels again through the palate. And my interpretation looking at drinks, I always look for the essence of something rather than the substance, to have really clear, elegant flavors in the drink. My name is Orlando March, as I said. Please enjoy my drinks. Would you like to try any of the ingredients?
I would love to try your
Improved grapefruit. Plastic cup, is that okay? All right. Bye, guys. I don't have any. That's it. Please, you're welcome. Would you like to try a little? Plum sherry. Like the, I don't have to use the jigger because it's finished. Don't be stingy. Yeah, that's it. I normally go in my bar and say, so, do you like it? But obviously you will tell me, I'll find out, yeah, cool, no pressure. Have you, yeah, you have that. I was going to say, do you want to kiss me, Alex?
Did you get very different notes when you
Sorry.
Did you get very different notes of the drink when you serve in different types of glassware? Like if you had a closed glassware, would it?
100%, absolutely. So normally you would serve, like, let's say a Negroni in this glass, and there is not really gap for flavors to escape. And by working with sommeliers a lot, it really improved their skills and gave me the opportunity to look at drinks in a different way. So it carries more aroma when the experience travels, really. Yeah. I think every drink, really, like a martini, right? And then this is a conversation after with a beer. But also, if you serve a martini like that, it really carry more aroma. Like the vermouth doesn't shine anymore. It really carries all the.
We felt it worked really amazing from this glass, and it's very open and it changes and develops.
That's it.
very beautifully, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I like the idea of the soda in first as well, just to drive things through, just to help lift the aroma rather than
absolutely.
drowning.
When you come to Australia, you will see the
4,
carbonation
3,
is very, very key to what
1. Done. Everybody. Well done, Orlando.
Photo with the judges. Can we take a quick photo?
Great. So everybody, we're going to have a few minutes, and we'll be at this bar from Bulgaria. So well done, Orlando. That was amazing.
Just seen. We've got a taste of the competition, but if you want to see all of the competition, go to worldclassclub.com and you can follow your favourite bartender. But we're here still with Tim. As someone who's already represented your nation, what do you think's going through our competitor's head there as he's the best bartender in Australia this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure, you know, having that kind of mantle that you have to wear, and unlike any other bartending competition, you know, you're representing your country as well. You're not just representing yourself. So having that opportunity and having that pressure, knowing full well that in Australia right now there's hundreds, if not thousands, of bartenders tuning into this, watching him, supporting him. You know, that real tidal wave of support that I received in 2011 and 12. You know, I know it meant a lot. So when I inevitably didn't win in 2011. I was hugely disappointed. Coming back a year later, it was obviously a huge relief to finally get the title and, and I guess do my country proud.
So then in terms of the growth from the first year to the second year, we've got some competitors who are also coming back for the second time. How did you feel more ready in the second year, and how were you able to get that title?
Yeah, I mean, it can go two ways, really. We've had competitors come back a second year and not done as well as the first year. So I don't think it's necessarily... I don't think it's necessarily like straight away you're going to do better the next year. I think that the difference between 2012 and 11 for me was I put in a lot more work. And generally speaking, it's nice to wear the title of world's best bartender, but at the end of the day, the bartenders that do really well in this competition are the ones that worry about the minor details. You think about like the difference between good and great in any industry, whether you're a Formula One driver or a carpenter, it's that fine detail, it's that extra 1%. So that's what I really focused on the next year.
If we were to talk about a specific example, like I'm sure, like we said, with footballing or any kind of sport, everybody trains, but what's the difference between the best and the greatest? Like, what did you do during that year that really you think pushed you over the line when it came to that second competition?
Well, I think the first year I tried to be what I thought a world-class bartender was. So maybe I was a little bit stuffy, maybe I was a little bit not myself, and the second year I came back and I was just a lot more chilled out. I let my personality on the table and I put it behind in the glass, and I just tried to do and look at things a little bit more differently. So as an example of that, where I'd normally kind of make a drink trying to mimic the style of the great Japanese bartenders or a London hotel bartender, I'd just do it in the way I'd do it in my bars in Australia. I'd have a little bit more fun, a little bit more cheeky. So being able to have fun with the judges and trying to break that fourth wall. And, you've got to imagine as well, you've got to think that judging cocktail comps, it's quite boring sometimes. You're sitting there for hours and hours and hours. You're tasting these drinks, but you're not enjoying them. You're not like enjoying the drink as you would at a social occasion. You're critically judging them. So trying to bring that fun back was a big thing.
So it sounds like that second year you were more authentic to you. And more authentic for where you came from, and it's probably that fear when you come to a competition maybe that you want to do what you think the judges want rather than just be the best version of yourself. So now, since you've become a winner and you are a winner, how has it changed your life?
It's nuts. I mean, it's changed from from the smallest point saying that I had, I didn't have a frequent flyer account to being a platinum member within like 9 months, and I needed to, I remember I travelled that much that I remember going from Moscow to London to do a photography shoot and getting to London airport, and they weren't going to let me in because there wasn't enough space on the passport. They'd used up every single page with stamps, so I had to get a new passport before it was expired because I'd run out of pages. I mean, it changes your life like that. It changes your life in the same sense that now I have no anonymity when I go into bars around the world. People tend to know who I am, and I know... It's great. It's good and bad. I can't get away with drinking things like Baileys and milk anymore because people expect me to be drinking, the finest haute couture of cocktails at all the time. I know my brother-in-law uses it. He goes into cocktail bars in Sweden and he drops my name and he sort of say, "Oh, do you know this guy, Tim Phillips?" And they're like, "Yeah." Just like, "Oh, it's my brother." Tries to milk it for all it's worth to get as many free drinks as he can, really. But good on him.
Over 10 years of
so on terms of the milking, we have a competition. You're an ex-winner. Basically, our competition is the tale of two martinis. I'm going to give you a mini demonstration with my terrible bartending skills. So what we want you to do is use Tanqueray number 10 Champion Shaker, which is easy for me to do with one hand. However, you have to stir and twist at exactly the same time. Are you up for the challenge, Tim?
My name is Pavel Pomukchev and I come from Bulgaria.
Do what you need to do. If you need to stretch, if you need a quick warm-up, then we're good to go. And what you have to do is do it as fast as you can. As fast as you can.
I'm just kidding.
We're not judging on taste, we're just judging on the ability just to do it. So you need to do both at the same time. And then once you're finished, as a good bartender must do, you have to serve me and then press this little bell right here. Okay, are you warmed up? Okay, we're going to start the timer. I've got an assistant you can't see, but he is very lovely. And we're going to start whenever you're ready to.
His great energy and legacy.
There is a jigger right there. You've been given that.
Natural spirit has been always inspiring to me.
So, okay, you about ready? Okay. And we're about ready? Okay, we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So as you can see, he's putting the glasses in, he's putting the ice in now, as you can see. He's pouring out. The utmost professionalism from him. Tanqueray number 10 is being poured in right now, as you can see. He's got himself in a nice squat position. He's looking very athletic. You can see the focus on his face right now. And now he's using the Tanqueray number 10 shaker. As you can see, it works so well. Like, it's such a fast machine. You can see bartenders really putting a lot of energy when it comes to shaking. Once they use the shaker, it makes it a lot easier and a lot quicker. He's done the stirring. He's opening up. He's going to pour. I think Tim really wants to win this. He's putting a lot of effort. He's not messing about. You can tell he's a former winner. He's got winning in his blood. He's about to serve. He's literally in the home straight now. Pours at the same time. A little bit of spillage. Do we get minus points for spillage? No, he knows what he's doing. He's grating the lemon. The zest. Perfect. There's not a crowd, but I'm going to give you a round of applause by myself. That was amazing. So we've just had one challenge here, an impromptu challenge from a former winner. Thank you, Tim. That was absolutely amazing. But now we're going to go to Carl from Bulgaria, who's in the Tanqueray number 10 challenge.
Elegantly drinks. I'm going to present you one of Anthony's favorite cocktails, Negroni, but made with an exciting twist. First, I'm adding Campari, infused only with grapefruit peels, to strengthen the grapefruit flavor and the bitterness, which will balance the drink, since I'm not adding vermouth, but elderflower liquor. This is the Saint-Germain, which will add a herbal note to the drink. The elderflower nature of this liquor will add a pleasant sweetness to my cocktail and make it elegantly smooth and silky. And thank you. And this cocktail is designed to honor its premium qualities. The bright citrus flavor of the Tanqueray comes from the adding fresh fruits during the distillation in the tiny 10 pot still.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, inspired by Mr. Bourdain, I'm going to serve you a no reservation cocktail.
Five minutes, Pavel.
Great, thank you. And so, as Charles Tanqueray, searching for his signature recipe with his botanical until he finds the perfect one. So, enjoy no reservation cocktail. Cheers. So in my second cocktail, I want to elevate the angelica root, juniper, coriander, and licorice in Tanqueray 10 by making an improved version of the gin and juice classic. Similarly, Anthony Bourdain was encouraging everyone to have their own repertoire for a couple of recipes and to practice of making them until they feel really proud of the result. I took this advice and I improved my grapefruit juice, and I will combine it with Tanqueray 10, seeking for perfection. How I did that? First, I used grapefruit peels in order to make oleus saccharum. Then, I combine the juice with the oil and leave it to rest for a couple of hours to stabilize their pH. Then I strain the juice and I run it into the blender so it can make a fluffy texture and will give my drink full and rich flavor.
Two minutes, Pavel.
Okay, great, thank you. And finally, the final touch of my drink will be the yellow chartreuse, which will elegantly enhance the floral notes of my cocktail and will make it delicately and smooth. And so, actually, this is how I see the future of classic cocktails, improved by themselves and of the ingredients, using the whole product and its natural qualities and flavors. And so, let's have a toast in the name of Anthony Bourdain. Woo! Cheers.
As you just seen, it's really heating up in the Tanqueray number 10 room. The challenges are getting harder and harder, and those hosting skills that Tim was talking about earlier really are coming through. So, Tim, in terms of getting to your level of owning bars, how does a bartender go from just serving drinks in someone else's bar to getting to the point where they're running their own bar? What are the tips you'd give them? Yeah,
I think most bartenders have their dream of opening their own place, working for themselves, and doing the drinks that they want to do, not being kind of restricted by, someone else's dream. So I think that, taking the next step, obviously you've got to be good with your money. You've got to put money away, or you've got to find a great investor that doesn't want to have anything to do with the running of the bar. That can help. And then, and just be really kind of focused on exactly what you want to do. Make sure you don't sacrifice in any way kind of your idea of what you want.
So in terms of what you want, what do you think separates a run-of-the-mill bar with an exceptional bar? Like what stays in your mind when you walk into a bar and you're like, actually, this is a great bar?
Yeah, I think I have the most memorable experiences from bars where I feel like I'm getting a genuine trait of hospitality from the person serving me. So I kind of feel like that the server is on my side. I mean, that for me is the art of hospitality. The other thing I really love about bars are places that you just feel at home in straight away, and that could be a dive bar in Brooklyn, or it could be a hotel bar in Romania. You know, places where you go in, you're comfortable, and it's the sort of place you want to spend time when you're not at home. That, for me, makes a great bar.
Oh, great. So we're literally, obviously, filming live. We've got challenges that happen at the moment. We're going to go up to the Zacapa room. We've got Marco from Mexico, who's serving an aperitif and a digestive to our judges. Remember, we're down to the last 20. So every challenge has its own niche of being hard, but we're going to go up to Marco and see how he's doing.
There we go, making more of us. So there we go. So we do 15 ml, finish it up, like that. Another 15 ml, like that. And then we finished with a nice zesty cream on top, vanilla based, very well flavored, just to make sure that he enjoys it nicely. So cream means a lot to me, because when I'm having my coffee, cream, if you don't put cream away from me, I'll drink a lot of it, like that. So we do the garnish. I do some coffee beans, just to make it nicely looking, like that. And then we have our kahawa. Well done, already. So kahawa in Swahili means coffee. There you go.
Yes. All right. Right on time.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Yeah, got it right in.
So from Kenya, we say asante sana, hakuna matata.
Hakuna matata. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you very much.
If you wouldn't mind, we'll let the judges try your drinks, but if you could go ahead and start moving your trolley out.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and pleasure serving you.
Absolutely. For our back of house crew, do we have any straws for the judges? Before we bring out our next competitor, I might have again some audience members come up. Alex, can I get you to come forward? We've got our Kenyan brand ambassador here who also is a former competitor. Let's have a round of applause for Alex. I'm putting him on the spot. Everyone is well. So, Alex,
yes.
What year did you compete in World Class? Was it 2 years ago?
It was 3 years ago.
3
yes.
years ago?
Yes.
So you were in the South Africa or the?
Yes, in the South African one, yeah.
Absolutely.
I did not make it to the finals. I made it second place, but I was still the best Kenyan at the time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Do you mind holding the mic, sir?
No.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, as a former competitor, and now I'm sure you've worked quite a bit with Patrick mentoring him,
yeah.
What do you think he has unique to bring to the table this year for Kenya?
Okay, Patrick has a background of hospitality. I think that's one of the things that stands as a win for us. He works in a proper hotel. He's worked there for quite a few years. It's not his first time doing World Class. He's tried and failed before. So yes, his personality most of all, because I think everyone will be doing a good drink either way. All right, so personality, hospitality, yes, that's what we bring to the table today.
Those are the pillars of being a good host and bartender.
Yes,
absolutely.
it is.
And how do you feel after watching his performance about his prospects for making it through to the finals?
All right, look, top 20 has never happened in any market outside of South Africa for Africa.
Really?
So, yes. So
congratulations.
That's
a huge milestone.
Yes, yes. So that in itself is just something big. We're going to celebrate about it. We're going to shout from the top of the hills. Yeah, so it feels absolutely amazing. And you know what? Better World Class is to come. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate you jumping in and your input into Kenya as a performance. Yeah.
We'll do our best.
Thank you so much. I might take a few questions for our judges.
So we've just seen Patrick Matua. Sorry for that little mistake there. So many bartenders here. We often make a little mistake, but it's still been an amazing show. But we're talking to Tim. What exactly were we watching just then? What are the judges looking for?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the history of food and drink, you know, and how they've been paired together, you know, the classic aperitif and the quintessential digestive, the way you bookend a meal, essentially, it's all down to how well you can mix a cocktail. You know, traditionally we would serve wine during a meal. That's actually fast changing, and you're seeing a lot more bartenders serving cocktails with food. However, this challenge focuses solely on creating a great drink to have at the start of that meal and one at the end of the meal. So something that's quite dry and palate cleansing at the start, and something that's a bit more rich and herbal, or even dessert-like for the end.
So the judges are looking at the quality of the choice and of the drink itself, but also what kind of hosting skills do you think they're looking for? Because it seems quite an intimate set they've got there.
Yeah, I mean, it comes a lot down to how the drink's explained as well. You know, you need to link your story back to the drink and why it's a great digestive, why it's a great aperitif. So that's hugely important. You know, if you don't explain yourself properly, drinks can get misinterpreted. You know, the judges might not get what you're trying to put across. So making sure you really do explain every element of the drink is pivotal to doing well.
So essentially, is that hosting element of bartending that's supposed to come out in that moment, rather than you giving like a TED talk on your aperitif or your digestive?
Make sure you're charming and funny, and make sure it's entertaining as well. Definitely. I mean, no one wants to be bored. So just keep it lighthearted and fun. At the end of the day, drinking cocktails is fun. So we have to make sure we're really kind of channeling that when we're explaining our drinks.
So then, in terms of showing some real hosting, and hopefully it's going to be fun, we're going to throw to Marco from Mexico this time and show you the real guy and what he's been up to. He's doing the Zacapa challenge.
Buenos días, everybody. Here's a small card that I make for you, especially where it tells a story that we're going to take out today, just to telling how it can be an aperitif and a digestive in our way to climb a mountain. So please, if you allow me, I'm going to make you everything over here. And well, we will start with the beginning. To climb a mountain, we need a lot of things. First of the one things that we're going to need definitely will be roots. It will be as literally or as subjective. Why? Subjective because we are going to, we don't need to know where we come from to know where we're going to go. And as literally, as you can find a lot of roots in your path to the starting of the flat way to the mountain. So we are going to use for our cocktail, for our first cocktail, a little bit of Punta Mes. We're going to use Punta Mes. Definitely climbing to a mountain will be difficult, will be tough, will be intense, will be really bitter maybe. So we're going to be a little bit of peaches bitter for that. But for sure, on our travel to, on our way to the top of the mountain, there will be a lot of things that will surprise us, that will even reconfort us, to make our path going through really, really nice, to make our path really comfortable, to make our real path really amazing. So we'll use a little bit of Cynar for this. At the end of the day, all this trouble, you will realize something. Just one thing, that just the time and the experience will give you the way to go up and to start this amazing journey. So nothing better than about time to run Zacapa. So we'll just use 50 milliliters. For these cocktails, well, we're going to use kombucha just on the end of the glass, but I will want to share you a little bit for you. I'll bring some shares. So ladies first, please. To make a little, yeah? No, it's a Mexican already made brand, so we don't have like that on the stabilization on the fermentation. We're going really on top and sharp for it. We're going to start. This is a perfect beginning. I think that me for being climbing this mountain is like just being before a meal. And the way through the mountain, it's got the meal. You got a lot of ups and downs. You got from a starter, you got a main dish that might be too heavy. You got maybe a dessert that would be like, that's the reconforting part. But definitely the beginning is such an important part of everything. So, just to perfectly chill our cocktail. I told you we're going to use our kombucha. We use 30 milliliters. The kombucha, what we're going to help, or in general speaking about the cocktail, what the ingredient is going to help, is going to release a lot of the Zacapa flavors. There is something interesting about Zacapa to using in an aperitif. It's a little bit amazing when you nail it. You have to keep that bitterness and then potential that Zacapa has without losing the mellowness. But the mellowness definitely have to be so small we use to don't be so overwhelming for an aperitif. Let's use one small ice. I don't want that big bubbling sensation from the kombucha. Just want the flavor, so it gives a long finish. That's something amazing. And we just perfume a little bit with some orange. And here you got, please, from A to C, from aperitivo to Zacapa. After we're going through this path, this amazing path to the mountain, we reach the end. We reach the final part. We reach the end of the meal. We reach to the digestive. That's one of my favorite parts. In this part, you feel a lot of things going through. You feel that the time, that all that matter through the mountain that you went, all these hard things that you make it through, you harvest all these goals. So what we are going to use right now is Zacapa infused water strawberries. So I, as well as the kombucha, I had a little test for you. So this. Get as well a little bit of Zacapa. If you try the things, please drink a little bit of water so we don't get overwhelmed on the flavor. That would be amazing. At the top of the mountain, you will have that knowledge to achieving goals. That really nice sensation that you get to something, pass to something strong, get past to something intense, get past through everything super nice. So we're going to use sugar, a little bit of glass sugar. Top of it. And definitely, when you achieve something, you feel fortified. You feel that you evolve already, that you make something different, that you make yourself better. So we're going to use a fortify. We're going to use support for a cocktail. This. And this sensation, having already like this sweet, intense flavor of achievement, of making something great, you have like that cloudy sensation of that cozy way that you have the warm feeling that you don't want to leave. So we're going to use clarified milk, or like basically with milk. Just 30 milliliters. And you will notice that all that bitterness that we were speaking at the first time, all this maybe that not so amazing sensation, will transform into something sweet and something that will balance everything, just to make you start all over again and again. So we're going to use a little bit of Angostura bitters for this case.
Just literally seen Marco on your screen. He's doing the Zacapa challenge, and you're probably wondering, how well did Tim do in our Tale of Two Martinis? Well, my lovely assistant is going to bring in, he did 1 minute and 4 seconds.
I'm in the lead.
0.18. You're in the lead, of
I'm
course.
crushing
You're
it.
number one.
I'm
You're
also
number one.
last.
You're the best one of one, and you're also last. So can that be beaten? Because I just thought Tim was working really hard. So I'm not sure many people are going to be able to beat that, but our next guest will have a little go as well. But we've been looking at the challenges, and Tim, in terms of the whole of the competition, we're in our 10th year now. What does it mean to you to be a world-class winner, and what does the competition mean to the bartending world?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice now that I'm an official has-been. You know, I won my tiara in 2012, and obviously coming back every year, it's amazing to see how the competition develops and obviously gets bigger and brighter and more glamorous. So, I mean, what does it mean to me? I guess it gives me a lot of kind of, I guess I'm just very content, with the decision path I made when I was 17, 18 years old to not go to university and shake cocktails for a living. I think it was a pretty damn good decision now that I look back in hindsight.
So when people were starting out, so 17 is a young age for any kind of decision, those moments of uncertainty when you're maybe not earning as much as you want to earn, but you've got a dream in your mind, how do you keep pushing through those moments to get to the path where you are, where you're owning bars now?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I hate that saying, if you love something, you don't work a day in your life. But
It's true, though, isn't it?
But that's the thing, though, when I didn't get into bartending to earn money. I got into bartending because I didn't want to use an alarm clock and I wanted free drinks, to be honest with you. So I did kind of 6 months not bartending when I was 17, just kind of waiting tables, and then when I was legally allowed to at 18, started making drinks. And what initially got me into the industry wasn't the idea of money or the glamour, it was the fact that I got to talk to people every night. I was always quite a social kid, so having that opportunity every night to be able to interact with guests and colleagues and have a lot of fun doing it, and not needing an alarm clock was what kept me in it. The creative side of things, and obviously the potential of being able to travel and earn a lot more money sort of came as I got better and older and wiser.
So those bartenders that are maybe watching at home, either on the website worldclass.club or on the Facebook or YouTube, what tips or advice would you give to a young bartender that's starting out right now? What were the mistakes that you may have made?
Yeah, I think one of the great things we can do as bartenders is we can travel around the world. You know, there's going to be jobs for us anywhere we can get a visa, really. Like everyone loves a drink. So I think definitely I started traveling bartending when I was sort of 23, 24 and lived abroad for 3 years, and I think that kind of period of my life was really pivotal to me being to where I am today. You know, doing a couple of years in London and inevitably moving to New York and France, and just having these sort of stints was able to, for me to be able to learn different cocktail cultures, learn off some of the great bars of Europe and the States, and bring that knowledge back to Australia.
As someone who's travelled so much and you've really ingratiated yourself into the world of bartending, which bar stays in your mind from around the world, apart from your own, of course?
Yeah, I mean, it's generally disappointing when people that want to know about the best bars in the world from me, because I always give them the dive bars that I've really loved. You know, there's somewhere like Café Noce in Antigua in Guatemala, and they don't serve cocktails. It's a 2-drink minimum. They serve a lot of mezcal and a lot of tequila, and there's always live music playing. It's always badly lit. I think the bathroom's probably one of the most disgusting places on the face of the world, but the charm of the place and the character and the people that frequent it, and the amount of fun that I have every time I go there makes it, for me, one of the most memorable and best bars in the world. And for me, that's what it takes. You know, it's just having a fun space where you can go and be yourself and get weird and have a good time and have a laugh. It's great.
Okay. Well, like you said before, it's really the memories you get from drinking, not just the mixology. The host, the bartender, brings all of that atmosphere. We're actually going to go back to one of our bartenders who is competing in the Tanqueray number 10 challenge. That's Juan David Zapata. So he's from Colombia, and we're going to throw up to him right now.
One, go.
Can you listen to me? Well, so I want to present you to our main character in our bar. This is Old Tom, the cat.
De la moneda.
So we will
¿Por qué
talk
las
about
dos
the two
caras de la
sides of the
moneda?
coin.
La primera cara es los cócteles de autor. En nuestro bar, para nosotros llevar a los clientes a que consuman cócteles clásicos en Medellín, primero tenemos que ofrecerles algo bien interesante de autor. Listo, algo bien visual.
So one part of the coin, one side of the coin is the author's drink. So in order to...
Vamos a utilizar el ingrediente principal del día de hoy, que es toronja.
So we will use the main ingredient today, which is grapefruit.
This is just what they did in London many years ago. Please insert the coin in the cassette. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, more, please. What? Necesito mucha más toronja. Listo. Eso, por favor. Otra más. Nuestro primer ingrediente, Tanqueray 10.
Our first ingredient, Tanqueray 10.
The infused, the passion fruit.
Infused
with herbs.
passion fruits.
¿Cómo vamos?
How are you doing?
¿Ah? ¡Hey!
Everything
¡Colombia! ¿Dónde están los colombianos? Fat wash de coco. En nuestro país los sabores frutales van muy bien.
Coconut fat wash.
¿Ah? Oleosaccharum de toronja.
So grapefruit oleosaccharum.
Ok. Y una tintura muy especial que se llama Black Tincture.
So
que la hacemos
a
con
very
tinta de
special
calamar.
tincture is a black octopus tincture.
Ok. Bueno, este cóctel se llama Black Lucky. Es uno de los cócteles que más vendemos en Old Town Gin Bar en Medellín.
So this is one of the drinks that we sell the most at our bar in Medellin. Is Old Cat.
Ok, vamos. ¡Eh!
And this is the Black Lucky.
Delicious. Bueno, esta paloma es muy importante en Medellín.
So this dove is really important in Medellin.
Así como este Old Town representa el nombre de mi bar, el primer dispensador de bebidas del mundo.
So as the first dispenser of drinks in the world, Old Tom.
También representa el alambique de Tanqueray 10 que fue destruido en la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
So it represents also the first alembic that was destroyed, that was almost destroyed in World War II.
En Medellín, en la década de los 80, conocen al maestro Botero. ¿Quién conoce al maestro Botero de Colombia?
You know Master Botero?
¿Ah? Es un artista muy reconocido a nivel mundial.
It's a worldwide known artist from Colombia.
Y él donó una paloma para la paz en Colombia. Y esta paloma fue destruida por la violencia.
So this dove was created this sculpture of a dove was created in Medellin, and it was destroyed because of violence.
Y al lado fue construida una nueva paloma de Botero, como está aquí en la foto. Está la paloma destruida.
So as you can
Y
see
al
in the
lado
picture,
colocaron una paloma nueva, no quitaron la que fue destruida.
so as you can see in the picture, this dove, the old dove that was destroyed by violence, was not replaced, but one new exact replica was built aside of it.
Okay. Este es mi primer cóctel, Black Lucky, que representa esa resiliencia, esa perseverancia colombiana, tal cual como el alambique de Tanqueray 10, Old Town, que resistió el bombardeo de la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
So as the alembic of Old Tom, our dove represents, and our drink Black Lucky represents perseverance.
Y nuestro nuevo cóctel es un twist del Negroni, se llama Green Negroni.
So this is our second cocktail. This is our twist of Negroni. It's called Green Negroni.
Okay.
David, you have 5 minutes.
Hey, it's much time.
A lot of time.
Tanqueray 10.
Tanqueray 10.
Y the citrus hair. Este Negroni representa lo nuevo, lo moderno. El Tiny 10 de Tanqueray 10. Tiny 10, el otro alambique.
So this represents the modern, the modern drinks.
The distiller, the true distiller, the citrus hair of Tanqueray 10. The Tiny 10. This is Old Tom, it's Tiny 10, the citrus hair. Okay, understand? That my spirit, let me learn English just for you.
Woo!
This is Lillet Blanc.
Lillet Blanc.
Okay. ¿Cómo la estamos pasando, colombianos?
How are you doing, Colombia?
Bien.
David, 4 minutes.
Yeah. My bitter, my green bitter. Yo quiero que ustedes prueben esto. Es un bitter que hice en casa, natural. El color es una técnica que me enseñó un chef en Colombia.
So I wanted you to try this bitter that I made, and I was taught by a chef in Colombia, and
Okay.
I made this, and I want you to try it.
Y el color es natural. ¿Listo?
And it's a natural color.
Le mando un saludo a Alejandro Cuellar. Muchas gracias.
So I send regards.
Es elaborado con lemongrass,
It's made with lemongrass,
pieles de cítricos,
citrus peels,
quinina
quinina,
y flores.
and flowers.
Y las flores representan muy bien mi país.
And the flowers represent my country really well.
Ustedes sabían que mi país es uno de los que más exporta flores a nivel mundial.
So Colombia is one of the main exporters of flowers in the world.
¿Han visitado Colombia alguna vez?
Have you been in Colombia before?
No.
Not yet. Not
Welcome
todavía.
to Colombia.
They have to
It's a
go.
beautiful country.
Guys, give it up for David.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Of course, you've just seen some of our challengers, but we still have Tim with us. But we've been joined by Kerry, who we're going to be interviewing later on. But Kerry doesn't actually know how to make a martini. He's probably drank many in his time, but we have Tim's going to walk him through the whole process so he knows just what he's doing and how he can impress his lady friends at another time. So, Tim, go ahead.
I'm hugely disappointed that you've travelled to 8 different cities around the world. You've been paid for by Diageo to see the best bars and the best bartenders and hang out in some of the greatest cities, and you still have no idea how to make the most popular cocktail in the world.
Not no idea. I think that was a little bit of an overstatement. Not no idea. Very little of an idea.
What were you doing?
I was drinking them. I was enjoying them. I was hanging out with you.
Okay, all right, I'm going to show you. So we're not going to time you, so I'm already going to be in the lead with my time. I know that for certain. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this machine here to shake one, and we're going to stir one here. So we're going to make a traditional stirred one. We're going to crank this to shake one. But what we want to do straight away is we're going to get started by putting ice in the glass to chill your glass. Yeah, in the martini glass, Kerry. Okay. Yeah, both of them. Okay, now you're going to measure your gin and vermouth into this mixing glass. So generally speaking, I mean, everyone's got their preference, but if you did like 2 parts gin to 1 part vermouth, that'll be pretty delicious. Yeah, go like 1.5 of those. And then like 3/4 of vermouth in that. You're on fire. You good?
Yep. Feeling really good. 3/4?
Yeah. Okay, now fill that with ice. And put your bottle cap back on your gin. What do you don't just leave that open like it.
Tim's like Mr. Miyagi. He's super hard with the wax on technique of martini making.
We're going to make it properly.
In here?
Yes. Yes, please. All right, now come on. We're making 2 drinks here, so you're going to stir one, you're going to shake the other. So I want you working with both hands at the same time. So using this spoon, stir, but also whilst you're cranking this to shake. Perfect. Keep stirring that. That's going to be under-diluted. Keep going, keep going, keep going. The most important ingredient in a martini, besides obviously delicious Tanqueray number 10 and vermouth, is ice, is water. Yeah, it's getting that texture, getting that temperature, getting that dilution. All right, you've done it too much now. No, I'm joking. Yeah, perfect. Now get rid of the ice from the glass. Very good. That's good. Get rid of the ice from the glass because you're not pouring it over ice. Don't touch the glass by that bit. It's disgusting.
Tell me all this stuff before we started on the TV.
Okay, now take off the top here from your shaker. This one, yeah, beautiful. Take it out. Take the top off. And you're going to do 2 at the same time. So you're going to strain this guy and this guy into the glasses at the same time.
I love how it took Tim a minute to do this, and it's taking Kerry
1 minute.
Minute and 4 seconds.
I took my time.
It's been more than a minute and 4 seconds. I'll tell you that for free, Kerry.
That's amazing. That's a bang-up job you're doing there. Now, buddy, you're going to hit it with just a gesture of lemon peel on top, so just zest a tiny bit, or grapefruit peel for that matter. Grapefruit, yeah.
As a gesture.
Well, you know, just like a little bit of citrus peel over the top. Humility goes out the window once you win a comp like this, mate. You know that, don't you? Look at that.
Is that a gesture?
That's really good, actually. Yep. Just a little lemon aromatic over the top. Cool. And so would you want to have the shaken one or the stirred one? Okay. Stop holding the glass like that. It's not a pint. It's just like the most classic sophisticated cocktail.
So a big round of applause there, Kerry.
What was his time?
I'm not sure how long that took, but it was just showing just the sheer expert Jedi skills of Tim, who did it in a minute. Kerry, that wasn't, well, it wasn't a minute, I'll tell you that for free.
Well
done.
Delicious, though.
Thank you for that.
But I'm not going to lie to you.
So we have our board, and we also have Kerry's time of 3 minutes and 2 seconds. I mean, they were generous with the 3 minutes, actually. And Tim did 1 minute and 4 seconds.
You know in Top Gear how they do the pros and then the regular people?
That's fair.
I think I need my own board.
You should be given a series on Amazon. You've got a pro status, but
I'm
now
just going to put this at the top. Okay.
We'll put Kerry's right there.
That won't be.
So, Kerry, how was Tim's lecturing / teaching skills? He felt like a really mean Mr. Miyagi. Yeah. Like he was making you wax on at the same time as you're trying to wash cars.
I was expecting like gentle nourishment, but that was awful.
It's a slap and caress mentality with me, mate. Trust me. We'll get the caress later, but at the moment it's all stick.
After a couple of days, yeah.
So, Tim, if you were a customer at Kerry's bar, what things did he do incorrectly that would have turned you off your drink?
You know what? The actual construction of the drink's pretty good. The drink's fine. Don't hold a glass like a skill tester machine. That's one thing you don't do. But saying that, the drink's pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. It's because of Tanqueray number 10 is that even when making a martini poorly, you still get it pretty good with Tank 10. So I think we're lucky the fact we use that product.
Although that's the one I didn't make. That's just the one I shook.
So then, Tim, in terms of you, when martini's shaken or stirred, how much of a difference does that make, or is it more of a personal choice?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to shaken or stirred, it's personal preference. I'd say that the best martini is the way you want to have it. So I can't complain. If that's how you like yours and that's how I like mine, fine.
So as someone who did, well, both of you have tried the Tanqueray number 10 champion shaker, how much easier is it from here to just literally do
It's not. It's a 60 kilogram champion shaker made by Jason Crawley for Tanqueray, and it is the most impractical, most beautiful piece of machinery.
Okay.
It's not made for speed. It's made because it is just a beautiful machine. I mean, Jason Crawley, who makes this, is basically recreating these forgotten, obscure, unusual machines that were maybe made as a prototype over 100 years ago.
Yeah, it looks very medieval.
Yeah, I think these get put in a bar with a very tongue-in-cheek kind of nature. I don't see a huge practicality in having a 60 kilogram machine on my bar top. But it's beautiful, isn't it?
It is beautiful. Is it something that just has a nice niche feel to it and it just adds a little je ne sais quoi to it? Okay, we're going to go to our challenge. We're going to go over to Castro from Peru, who's competing in the Zacapa Rum Challenge, and we'll be back later on.
Out quickly. Absolutely. Now, are you ready, Nicholas?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm quite excited to see what you've got prepared for us and the judges today. I'm going to let you start with your 10 minutes.
Okay, fantastic.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. How are you? Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure for me to be here between the top 10. Really, it's an honor. This is a Zacapa challenge, and Zacapa is a brand of Guatemala. I'm from Latin America. If you don't mind, I prefer speaking Spanish. So let me introduce you to Luis Felipe. He will help me to the translation. It's okay? Fantastic. Okay.
Now, when are we?
Thank you very much. Let me start with something important for me. It's a glass of, perdón, algo para tomar.
Sorry, I'm gonna
Sí, Spanglish, perdonen. Bueno, les preparé un té. Es una infusión de Jamaica. Sabemos que en Guatemala es muy apreciada el agua de Jamaica y en toda la zona de México también.
I prefer
Así
to
que
use
por esa
some
razón
hibiscus water, and for this reason it's going to help you.
vamos
It's
a
very
tomar algo que
appreciated.
nos refresque y que nos empiece a conectar también con los sabores que vamos a utilizar.
For
¿sí?
refreshment and connections of those flavors that we're going to try.
Perfecto. Por aquí. Bueno, déjenme contarles que me siento muy a gusto en este tipo de servicio a la mesa. Me recuerda la cantidad de veces que cuando estoy en el bar salgo de la barra y voy hacia las mesas a hablar con los clientes, conocerlos, saber cuáles son sus gustos, sus deseos.
I'm very comfortable with this type of service since it reminds me a lot of times when I get off the bar and I can follow up with the customers and see what their dislikes, what they prefer or not.
Perfecto. Y déjenme empezar también con un snack, ya que vamos a preparar un aperitivo. Este es un maíz típico de la zona andina, que en Perú le llamamos canchita y nos gusta mucho y sirve para abrir el apetito. Así que lo pueden compartir, lo pueden ir pasando y compartir. Le dejé servilletas también para que se puedan limpiar.
I would like to start with some aperitif since I'm working and we're going to use some canchita, which is fried corn from Peru. So you can pass that around and start snacking if you want.
Bueno, vamos a hablar de esa capa y vamos a preparar un cóctel aperitivo. Y quiero contarles que la inspiración para este cóctel nació evocando un poco a mi padre. Y quiero empezar con ron Zacapa.
So we're going to start with Zacapa 23, and the inspiration of this cocktails comes from my father.
Sorry. Ahí está. Vamos a trabajar aquí. Y ron Zacapa, además de ser uno de mis destilados favoritos, me recuerda mucho a él. Les voy a explicar por qué.
Ron Zacapa, besides being one of my favorite spirits, it also reminds a lot of my father, and I will tell you why.
Su dulzura me recuerda un poco el amor que siempre me dedicaba.
His sweetness reminds me of the love that he always gave to me.
Intensidad sobre el carácter y esa personalidad vibrante que sea
His
difícil de
intensity,
olvidar.
also with character, with the strength, is unforgettable.
Saben que uno de los recuerdos más bonitos que tengo es cuando bebí con él por primera
Also,
vez.
the best memories that I have with him is when the first time that I drank with him.
Él me llevó a uno de los bares de su preferencia en la ciudad donde vivíamos.
He took me one of his favorite bars in the city that we lived. And
pedimos vermut y soda. Y ese es un sabor que no voy a olvidar jamás.
we
Siempre me va a
ordered
recordar a él.
vermouth and soda, and that's a flavor that I will never gonna
Por esa
forget.
razón he utilizado un vermut americano para combinarlo con nuestro ron Zacapa 23.
That's the reason why I use some vermouth americano in this
Vamos
cocktail.
a batir un poco, ¿sí?
We're gonna shake this a little quick.
Unos buenos hielos. Permiso. Just a little bit. Vamos, vamos.
Let's go,
Ahora
let's
viene una
go.
parte hermosa, Lorena, no te puedo explicar lo bien que la vamos a pasar.
This is a very beautiful part, Lorena. You're gonna enjoy it so much.
Ok. Vamos a comenzar haciendo nuestro seteo.
We're gonna set up our part of the cocktail.
Hielos.
Some nice clear ice.
Bueno, saben que este momento especial que les estaba contando,
So
junto a
this
mi padre,
special moment that I was telling you with my father,
finalizó con que el dueño del lugar nos invitó unas copas de espumante.
finalized with the owner give us some
realmente me
sparkling
sentí
wine to our eyes.
importante. Al
And
mirarlo
that
a
was
los
the first
ojos,
time
su
that I
brillo en los
have
ojos hizo que nos conectáramos de una manera súper especial.
really important. And when I see the
a modo
look
de
into my
celebración,
dad, as a
voy a agregar
celebration, I'm going to put some
de
sparkling wine.
vino espumante a nuestra preparación.
into our preparation.
Excelente. Bueno, mencionamos el hibisco y para conectarlo realmente con los sabores del cóctel que les voy a presentar, aquí tengo un bitter de hibisco hecho en Latinoamérica.
As the first time, in order to connect that to Guatemala as well, as you're having a drink with hibiscus, I'm going to put it but in a part as being a bitters.
Que lo vamos a mover un poquito.
We're going to stir that a little bit to integrate all the flavors.
Delicioso. Bueno, como me gusta mucho como luce, no quería ponerle una garnish tradicional.
Since I like so much how it looks, I didn't decide to put a garnish, so I put something on the side. Something really, really nice. Some one of you probably understand. It's macambo nuts.
Como, el cacao blanco.
It's
Mi recomendación
known as white
es que
cocoa.
prueben el cóctel, coman alguna
Try the
nuez
cocktail,
y luego
try some
con ese
nuts,
sabor en la boca
with that flavor in your
vuelvan
mouth,
a
still
probarlo para
try
ver esa
again,
sensación y esa
so you have this
Ya tenemos nuestro
satisfaction.
cóctel aperitivo.
So this
Si gustan,
aperitif
cuando quieran,
cocktail
voy
with
avanzando
macambo nuts
mientras en la
inside.
siguiente preparación.
I'm going to start with the second preparation.
Ok. Bueno, hemos evocado a mi padre y quiero contarles que mi padre se ha dedicado a la música en su vida.
Also going along with my father's story, I want to tell you that my dad is a musician.
Y yo he heredado un poco su pasión por el arte, la música.
And I also get that same passion for the arts, the
Y luego
music.
de 20 años de
And after 20 years of being a bartender
ser bartender, de trabajar en nightclubs y en otros bares,
and working in nightclubs and in other bars,
resulta que he descubierto que hay una conexión importante entre hacer música y hacer cócteles.
it's a big connection of being a musician
Yo
and
entiendo
actually having concoctions of cocktails.
A los ingredientes como si fuesen notas musicales
I
que las vamos
understand
combinando
the cocktail and
formando
the ingredients
armonías.
as
De esta
music
manera,
notes, and we're going to combine
preparado,
those as in a symphony.
La
This way,
receta
I
del
prepare
cóctel
the recipe
de manera musical. ¿Hay
in a
algún
music
músico en la mesa?
part. Is there any music people in the
Mejor
table?
para mí.
Better for me.
Perfecto. Vamos a acelerar un poquito la preparación. Déjenme empezar con un poco de licor italiano de hierbas y naranja.
Let me start with an Italian liqueur of some herbs and oranges. A couple spoons of those.
Después vamos a poner como notas disonantes.
Then as a
una
designated
bitter de
notes,
nuez pecana.
we're going to have some pecan bitters.
Finalmente vamos a colocar
Finalize, I'm going to
una almíbar a
add
base de hongo
some
porcón de Perú,
almíbar porcón, which is a really special
con miel de maple y
mushroom in Peru,
vinagre
maple
de
syrup,
manzana.
and
Esto va a
some
dar
apple
interesantes
vinegar,
notas.
who's going to have very different notes.
Bueno, ¿y por qué he dejado esa capa para el final? Se estarán
Why did I
preguntando.
left Zacapa to the end?
Porque yo creo que el secreto de una buena composición musical
I
es
believe
la
that the secret of
inspiración
the
inicial,
music
la
competition
esencia,
is the first
lo que nos mueve
inspiration,
a
the
crearla.
essence that moves us to create.
Y yo creo que la perfección de este destilado
And the
se
perfection
debe
of its spirit
solamente
celebrates
y
only
únicamente,
and
más allá
uniquely
del trabajo y la dedicación,
more of the
y todo lo que todos sabemos acerca de la altura, las
everything
nubes,
that
las
we know about
barricas.
the height,
Creo que hay
the
algo
oak, the
relacionado a la
barrels,
primera inspiración,
the first
el motor,
impression, the
el
first
amor que nos
inspiration,
mueve
the
a
motor
hacer
that's
estas
actually to
creaciones. Y me
move
suena
us.
familiar, Lorena.
And it's very familiar, like in Lorena's
¿Por qué?
case. Why?
Porque es el mismo amor que
Because
mi
it's the
padre
same
ponía a sus
love
composiciones
that my
musicales.
dad put us in their music compositions.
Ustedes saben que las personas vibramos con
You
una
know
nota musical.
that different persons vibrate
Mi
in
padre
different
vibraba
notes,
con la
music
nota sol
notes.
mayor,
My
y yo
dad
vibro
vibrates in so major,
en
and I vibrate
do mayor. Esa es la
in
nota que tiene este
do
cuenco.
major. That's the same note that this Tahitian quank has. Little bow.
Lo que voy a hacer es
What I'm going to
transmitir
do, start
¿Sí?
vibrating that in
la
order to hear
vibración se
that.
transmite al líquido
It will transmit to the liquid
Y esta vibración a las personas
And
que
this
somos de la misma nota
vibration,
nos
which is
produce
the
felicidad
same,
y alegría.
it produces
Así que
happiness
esa
and
misma
joy.
felicidad la voy a transmitir al líquido
This happiness I'm going to transmit to the liquid
antes de volver.
before going back to my mixing class.
Ok. The cocktail is done. Con ustedes, Sinfonía 23.
With you, 23 Symphony.
Y aquí van a encontrar una sorpresa.
And this is a surprise for
El
you.
cacao de la selva peruana tostado al sol. Cuando
It's
lo
cacao
destapen, van a encontrar una buena combinación
dry with
aromática
sun from
desde
Peru.
afuera. Así que, con
So
ustedes,
please, with you,
Sinfonía 23. Que lo disfruten. Muchas gracias.
enjoy.
Thank you so much, Nicolas. We are going to take a short break for lunch, folks. We've got to get our judges fed, but please join us again at 12:45 Berlin time. And for those of you watching from home...
Hello everyone, we're back and we're sat on the sofa with Carrie and Eric. Carrie, obviously we put you through some torture of teaching you how to use the Tanqueray No. 10 Champion Shaker and to make a martini. How did it feel?
I think I got stitched up a little bit there.
Just a little bit.
I didn't know I was doing that, number one. I said specifically I didn't want to do it.
But you've learned a new skill.
and then Tim's like, you're doing it. And he knew that I was going to be like that, and he stitched me up a little bit.
Well, thank you for participating
My
in our
we
challenge.
needed to set a benchmark.
You set a benchmark,
Yeah.
and everyone can just aim a little bit higher than that.
Yeah, he was a minute. I was 3.5. Hopefully you're somewhere. Just
Only
me
two
and
so
Tim so
far.
far.
Yeah, an amateur and a professional, but you're an amateur, but you've been around the world seeing lots of bars. So
Yes.
you've got an Amazon Prime series. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's called World Class List. It came out just the other day, October 3rd, globally in 90 countries. So it's essentially me traveling around the world, finding the best cocktails in the world and the best drinking experiences, meeting the best bartenders. I mean, it's the greatest job in the world.
So then, if you were to describe your personality as a cocktail, which cocktail would you be? That's like our question of the day.
I'd like to say something like, like an old-fashioned, like dark and smoky and stuff, but that's not true. It'd be something like it'd be probably something like a daiquiri or something, something like fruity and
just
light,
fruity. That's
fun.
it.
Beach life and the flip-flops.
Yes, exactly.
And if you pass the mic to Eric,
That's
if
a
you
daiquiri.
were a cocktail, which cocktail would you be and why?
Well, that's why I'm sitting here, because I'm up for the martini challenge.
Okay.
And I'd like to be a martini. Because everyone loves martini.
Everybody
Clear,
loves Eric.
sharp. You can drink it before dinner, after dinner, in the morning if you're strong enough. You can pair it with oysters, which I love. There we go.
Well, that's a very in-depth answer. So, Eric, in terms
That was
of
a
your
better
love,
answer than mine.
I did a little rehearsal.
that's what
Yep.
he looked a professional-looking guy, professional-looking answer. I love it. So, in terms of your love affair with bartending and bars, when did that begin, and how did it begin?
It started in high school when I studied hospitality management. We touched a little bit of bartending, but nothing pretty serious till I went to Prague and I've seen a cocktail competition, and that was pretty much eye-opening of seeing real bartenders in action. And I thought, this is something first really cool, very creative, and it's so much fun at the same time. So then I entered to a bartending school in Prague. And at the same time in Slovakia I was opening the first cocktail bar, so I started straight away there. And when I did my first day in a bar, I will never forget that. My first order was piña colada. I did it without coconut cream because I was so nervous. But on the other side, I found it was so much fun, and I went to work and I felt the energy from people, the excitement. And that was something which drives me for the last 17 years.
17 years. So 17 years is a long time. So throughout that period, what has been the ups and what's probably been a low?
Low was the piña colada without coconut cream, for sure.
It's a good start.
Yeah. Highlights, I think it's really started with World Class when I entered in 2010. And I became a world champion, global winner, and that was just big doors open in the world of lots of opportunities. Started working at the Savoy, work with Cartier, consulting on Bond movies, and so on.
So when you become a champion, how has it changed your life? And when you first entered the competition, what are your aspirations? Everybody wants to win, but why did you think actually I can be the best in the world?
So for me, the competition was just to challenge myself, because in this type of competition, you really test every skills you got. As you work on a speed, you work on a pairing with the food that time, what I was doing, creativity, creating drinks on the spot from the markets. And for me, it was just like, let's give it a go. I like challenges, and I like to see. And it went pretty well. I used all my experiences from a bar, and it just went exactly as I was imagining it.
So what do you think in your mind, now you've got bars yourself, what separates a good bartender from a great bartender, i.e. the best in the world?
I don't really say good bartender, great bartender, because lots of times a great bartender can have a bad day, and then you walk away from a bar and all of a sudden you just goes like, really? I'm not sure if I want to come back here. And then you have, as you said, not a good bartender, not a world champion, and you sat on his bar counter and you don't want to leave. So it's really about being there on the right time and just listening that person who's sitting in front of you, and you want to make sure that his night is not good, he's great.
So we've been asking the question of when you go around the world, what is it about a certain bar or bartender that stays in your mind and makes you think that place is somewhere I want to revisit?
I think it's a blend of many things. It's an interior, it's a concept, it's what bartenders offering, what are they focus on, what they really like to work with. And if you go, for example, to Peru and you see something completely what you normally don't see in Europe, because they're working with the ingredients that grows only there. Some fruits, herbs, they never even come to Europe, because by the time they would bring them, they wouldn't taste exactly the same. So it's a unique experience to go around the world and see these bars. You go to Japan and it's very much about the hospitality, it's very professional, it's very neat, and so on. So these bars, every bar has something unique that can offer. And that's the beauty about traveling.
You've gone from like your 17 years of beginning in hospitality. I heard now in 2019 you got your own bar that's going to be opening in London.
Right.
Just tell us about how that process is and what you expect.
That was a pretty long process, because I wanted to make sure that once I leave Savoy, I won't go work for someone else. I work with someone else. And that took me 3 years to find a site and negotiate the right terms, that I'm a partner in the business. I'm not just coming in and working for someone. I really wanted to create something from scratch that I can proudly say, this is my bar and this is everything what I'm doing here. It will be something which I imagine and wanted to see, rather than I just follow some rules, and because that's how it's being done.
Perfect. So we are literally going to be coming back in a minute, and we'll hear even more from Eric about his bar and his love for bartending. We're going to wrap up session 1 and we'll see what our challenges have been up to.